So if you've been on TikTok, Instagram, X, and you've been on there for longer than 2 seconds and you own a small business, you have seen people come across and they've talked about these SEO hacks. They come out all the time. It's the latest and greatest thing. Like, hey guys, check this out. Google just changed this. AI just changed this. This is a game changer. And the reality is most of these things are just changes. They're not game changers. They're just changes. And the problem I have with them typically is that they are presented in a way that makes you think that there's some sort of secret that you're going to miss out on. And I don't know if this is just for clicks. I don't know if it's for selling a program. I do know that I often get people reach out to me that are my own clients, or even just people that are, close to me, friends of me that have small businesses, and they'll be like, what about this? What about that? And I would say 99% of the time, it's just a nothing burger. And we're going to talk about two of those things that I've heard about just recently. We'll just talk about what they are and what they aren't. These are going to be some of the latest SEO secrets that everybody's sleeping on. The things that if you have to get it's just changing the game, and it's going to be, you just have to get on this because everybody's is going to miss it if you don't get it. We'll break it down in this episode. Now, before I do that, I just want to say my name is Jerry. I'm a former chiropractor. I help chiropractors now with websites and local search. I help new chiropractors get started and stuck chiropractors get unstuck through my Next Step program. So if you want me to help you with your website, reach out to me through Rocket Chiro. I do a free website and SEO review. I'll be happy to do that for you. If you want to go beyond the podcast, especially if you're a new chiropractor or you've been out for a little bit and you're feeling kind of stuck or overwhelmed with the business and marketing side of things, my Next Step program is a great place to get some foundational information to just help you take your next step, which is sort of the point of that. All of that can be found at rocketchiro.com. All right, so the two things we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about the fact that you can add social media to Search Console, and we're going to talk about that you can become a preferred source for Google AI. And those are the two things that we're going to talk about. Now, the first one is the Search Console ads. So if you guys don't know what Search Console is, it's actually a really nice thing. If you have a website, I would suggest you getting connected to Search Console. If you're a client of mine, I already have you connected to Search Console, so just you are. What it does is Google will monitor where you show up in searches, and it's really helpful. I mean, you can have Google Analytics, which gives you a lot of like raw data. Google Search Console focuses on search and like what terms is your website showing up for? How is it ranking? How are you doing? It's just a data point. It's really helpful and it's really useful. But traditionally, you have to have a website to get connected to Search Console. But now what Google has done recently is allowed you to add social media platforms. Now, it's not all social media platforms, but Instagram, YouTube, like they're just ones that you can add as a standalone property. And what this will do is give you data. And what it does is it'll tell you, are there any of your videos or any of your posts that are showing up in Google search? What are they showing up for? How are they ranking? I think this can be really, really helpful and useful information. Now, obviously you can go to YouTube and get some basic data. You can go to Instagram and get some basic data, but that doesn't tell you what's happening on Google. And is Google like actually indexing and is it seeing your content on social media? So I think that's a useful thing. What it's not is some sort of secret to like, oh, if you do this now, your YouTube channel is going to start showing up first on Google. Like that's crazy. It's like your Instagram doesn't magically become like a high authority site that now shows up on Google when people search chiropractor near me. Like that's crazy. But those are the things that's how it's presented. And it's just a silly way to think about it. It's also not a replacement for your website. Like all of that is just absolutely ridiculous. It's additional data. It helps you understand if anything is registering on Google, like what is it? It also allows you, it can also help form like what content you're creating in the future. Like if you want to be known as the decompression person, like it would, if that's something you're hoping like, hey, I want to be known for that on my website, around my community, on social media, then putting that content on social media and then seeing how you're doing on Search Console, like, are you getting fruits from that labor? Is that actually showing up? Or that could dictate, are you heading in the right direction? Are you not? I think the data is useful. I think the data is really good information. However, it's not a magic pill. It's not a game changer. It's just additional information. Now, I will say this, if I do have one tip to offer today with both of these things we're going to talk about, it's going to be here. And that is, if you want to start potentially ranking better on your social media on Google specifically, I would suggest that you use your description as like a mini blog. Adding a short description, which is what I traditionally do. Like, I wouldn't even say that you should follow. I'm gonna actually test this and play around with this. This is actually only a theory. So if I'm completely wrong in this, this is all new and this is just a theory, but I am going to test it. And I would suggest that you test it as well. But if we understand Search Console, and if we understand what it's looking for, we understand what Google's looking for, we understand like what the algorithm's looking for. If you don't give it something to work with, it doesn't have anything to work with. And so that means to me, it makes me think that the description that you put on your social media posts should be more robust. Now, I don't think you should keyword stuff. I don't think that's ever a good strategy, but treating that blog or treating that description as like a mini blog and adding more content to it is probably going to put you in a better position to show up in Google search and Search Console. You'll see that potentially in Search Console. Once again, that's me just guessing. But I do understand how some of this stuff works, and that makes sense to me that you would give them more content to work with. Next thing we're going to talk about, and last thing we're going to talk about, is we're going to talk about becoming a preferred partner with AI within Google. This is also something that somebody shared with me, and it was like, hey, check this out. You can become a preferred AI partner. And all you have to do is go to this website, see if you're eligible. And if you are eligible, you can select yourself as a preferred AI person, and then you show up in all the AI stuff. And that sounds great. That's not how it actually works. Now, you can become a preferred AI partner if you're eligible, and someone can select you as a preferred AI partner. But the way that this is presented online and the way it was presented when I first saw it was this is a way that you could self-select yourself as an AI expert, and then everybody else would now see you show up in AI search because you're the AI expert. That's stupid. That's a really stupid thing that you think that in 2026 that's happening. It's not. Like, what this system is it allows every individual user who's using Gemini to potentially select a website or a source online as a preferred source. And so, for instance, if I was asking a lot of medical questions, or I ask a lot of AI questions or Google questions or whatever, if I'm asking those questions and I happen to see that there's this one website that shows up that I really value their opinion, I really value their input, I could select that website as a preferred source, or I could select a series of websites as a preferred source. And in the future, when I ask Gemini, what about this health issue or what about that health issue, then Google's going to prioritize the opinions and the views of the sites that I have said, these are the ones that I trust as a resource. And so pretending that you could somehow become a preferred AI person for everyone is sort of like saying that the YouTube subscribe button, if you push the subscribe button for your own channel, now you're going to show up in everybody else's YouTube feed. Like, that's dumb, right? I mean, YouTube's been around a long time. We've all subscribed. What that means is if you subscribe to a channel, that channel's content is going to show up more in your feed. And that's exactly how this preferred source works with Google AI, is if you're eligible and someone selects you as a trusted resource, then if they ask a question to Google AI that's applicable to what you do, if they ask a chiropractic question or a back pain question or neck pain question, then your website would show up or be preferred over some other ones because that person has specifically said that they trust you. Here's the other problem with it is I've looked at a lot of different chiropractic websites, and I've yet to see many of them, if very few, are actually eligible to be a preferred source, because the actual website has to have some authority to it. The actual website has to have content on it. It has to have, you have to be eligible for this. You can't just arbitrarily be like, oh, I'm a resource. And you have to assume that people in your area are selecting you as a select resource. I think this is a nothing burger for most chiropractors. I would say 99.9% of chiropractors, this is an absolute nothing burger. Your website doesn't really apply to this. The likelihood of somebody selecting you as a preferred source is probably slim to none. I think it's a nothing burger. I think the Search Console stuff is more interesting, gives you actual data. The other one is just someone saying stuff to make themselves sound smart, get some clicks, get some views. I think it's nothing. I think I'd wrap it up by saying this, is that Google and AI care about authority. You have to understand that. And if you want to start ranking better, if you're paying someone to help you, they should be focusing on authority in some way, shape, or form. If you want to help yourself, you should be focusing on authority. Realistically, you should be, even if you're paying someone, you should also be helping yourself. Things like reviews, things like how your business is presented online. That could be backlinks. It could be your actual credentials. Like if you have gone to a lot of seminars, you have a lot of credentials, you have a lot of information, communicating that on your website in a way that AI and Google can read and understand the way they like to see it. That is going to be important. Like just building authority. And there's lots of ways to do that. Like there are certain chiropractors that don't have a lot of like credential authority, but they have a lot of reviews and they do well with rank because of that authority. There are chiropractors that have a lot of social media following, and that is contributing to authority. That's an element of authority. Like if you're a chiropractor that has 200,000 followers on social media, that matters to AI. It matters to Google because that is a authority metric. And so when you start hearing these things from an AI and SEO standpoint, I want you to sort of bring it back to, does this make sense from an authority standpoint? And your strategy should be, I'm going to try to do as many ways as possible to build authority so that I'm actually genuinely an expert. I'm actually a trusted resource for this particular topic in my area. Like I want to be the go-to chiropractor because I'm genuinely an authority. Then you can look and say, what are the opportunities that I have to communicate that properly to AI and Google? And that could be through some software, some coding, some blah, 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 whatever. That there could be some technical things that help you benefit from your authority. But if there's no actual authority there, it's just smoke and mirrors and you're just trying to be a big deal, but you're actually not a big deal, none of these tricks really matter. They're not going to help you. So that's the thing you have to keep in mind, and that's the thing you have to really think about going forward as you hear these hacks, you hear these tricks, you hear these things. Most of it's nonsense if you don't have actual authority. All right, guys, that's it. I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. If you'd share this podcast on your social platforms or with another chiropractor, I'd really appreciate that. If you want to work together, go to Rocket Chiro, request a website and SEO review. If you want to go beyond the podcast and get some additional business and marketing help, sort of de-stress, become a little bit better small business owner, check out my Next Step program. It's a great place to do that if you're a new chiropractor or you're feeling stuck. I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm going to wrap this up. I'll talk to you guys in the next episode.